Fam 305. Yes, we live. The Fam 305. Take a ride. The Fam 305. Yes, all night. The Fam 305. Let's get right. The Fam 305. Sit back and take a ride. The Fam 305. Let Guru pick your mind. The Fam 305. Mama G ready all the time. The Fam 305. K-Dub sniping on the right. The Fam 305. Dre talking ish all night. The Fam 305. Like, share, and subscribe. The Fam 305. The Fam 305. The Fam 305. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey, no pa tanto. No pa tanto. Hey, no pa tanto. Hey, no pa tanto. No pa tanto. No pa tanto. No pa tanto.
There you go.
All right, y'all. Here's your host for tonight for the Fam 305 podcast.
Yeah, that's horrible when people don't come. That's the worst. No pa tanto.
Hey, it's your boy the Guru here. This is a special sports-related quick podcast, mini podcast, just solo, just me. Kind of talking about the Dolphins Monday night game against the Tennessee Titans that happened on December 11th. And, and I don't do too many podcasts on sports. Number one, I don't have other people. Not that Dre and K-Dub can't get into it with me, but to fuel it, the passion that I have for sports and for my teams. Not to take anything against my boys, my brother and my cuz, but a lot of times I just don't get into it. I don't feel like sometimes it's like I won't talk about it. But doing a solo, I can kind of like pontificate, kind of sit on my lectern here like a reverend, and kind of talk about what happened in certain games. And this game was one of those games where I've kind of felt like this the whole year about this team, about what I'm about to say, and I was like, let me hold off. The season's unfolding. We're almost, let's see the whole season before we can make some decisions in the playoffs. But now that I've seen them lose to a Buffalo team, a very good Buffalo team, the losses, well, they've lost some games, sure, but that Buffalo's a very good team. The way we lost to Kansas City, again, very good team. Super Bowl winner. The way we lost to the Eagles, again, Super Bowl. They were in the Super Bowl. They didn't win, but they were in the Super Bowl. Again, a very good team. The pattern for the Dolphins' losses are, number one, they're losing to good teams, good records, and overall good to great teams. Now, the trend was bucked. You would say last night or the Monday night game, say, well, lost to a 4-8 Tennessee Titans team. Yes, record-wise, they're not good. No doubt in that. But historically, recently, Tennessee is a very good team. Tennessee is a well-coached team. Okay, they have quarterback issues. Okay, they're kind of going through a transition with their squad. So this team is not as bad as the record would state. They lost a lot of close games. Okay, this team could very easily could have 2 or 3 more wins. All right. And though this team is sort of like one of those teams that we talked about earlier. Good teams, tough teams. They play it tough. Very talented on the defensive side. Okay. They're physical. Okay. Eagles, physical defense. Chiefs, physical defense. Bills, they know how to play us. Their defense, physical. Okay. The difference between those teams and the Titans is the Titans don't have the offense that those other teams had. Thus, why we were in this game. I mean, we were winning most of the game until the end, or until until we got behind, and then we couldn't come up and take it. Or at times they gave up the lead and got it back. So I'm starting to see a pattern here. Now it's becoming crystal clear to me, and I don't know if you fans that follow sports feel the same. The Dolphins are not do not play well against teams that are physical and that have a decent amount of talent. Now you would say the Jets, oh well, they're physical. You could argue they're a physical team. Yeah, great defense, good defense, very good defense, but they have no offense. So they got to play perfect in order to win. So that's where you can overcome playing a physical team. If they don't have an offense, the Dolphins are no slouches. They can move the ball. They're the number one offense in the league, top three, you could argue. But when you play a team like Tennessee, like last night, well coached team, they're going to keep the game close, which they did. Okay. So that was the one strike against us against Tennessee last night. The other strike was you can now clearly state that the MVP of the Dolphins is not Tua, it's Tyreek Hill. Any doubt that Tyreek Hill is not the most valuable player on this team, it's been dashed. And 2 and on, and all the Tua lovers, and I like Tua. I love him. I think I wanted him when the draft came out. Okay, but you notice something now. Without that big play receiver like Tyreek Hill, when he was out, they couldn't move the ball. They just couldn't. They ran the ball a little bit, sure, but their line and to defense also, their line had some struggles, but he could not get the passes off. So give props to Tennessee's defense. They schemed up, but without Tyreek Hill in there, it was like pulling teeth for them to move the ball. You saw that. That's why during the middle of the game, after Tyreek came out, they didn't do anything. They couldn't move the ball, and it was very hard for them to score points. And then now when he came back, you notice he started moving the ball again. The defense changed, and they were able to do their gimmicks. I gave a new name. They're the Powerpuff. This is the Powerpuff team. Cute, nice, awesome looking, but there's really no oomph to this offense. Okay, and look, we're gonna go to the playoffs. We'll probably get 10 or 11 wins, and I'm stating right now, and I'm a Dolphin fan, okay? Because some people might think, well, this guy's a hater. He's not real Dolphin fans, man. I had season tickets for damn near, I think, 8 years. Okay, I grew up in the Marino era. Okay, I cried when they lost to the Bills. Okay, I remember the games. So I'm a fan. So I've seen what this team can do, and I know what they're capable of. And I can look at this team and say, they're not going to beat Dallas. They're not going to beat Baltimore. They're probably not going to beat Buffalo with all the chips on the line. Do I want that to happen? Hell no. I want them to win all those games. But looking at the way this team plays against physical teams, against teams that, they mix it up. And you could say, well, the NFL, they're all physical. Yes, but I'm talking about the next level, the teams that are next level physical. Okay, and Tennessee's one of those teams that they're well coached and they keep the game close. Okay, they have some talent. Their issues is quarterback. Their quarterback's been a mess. They have Tannehill, which the Dolphins fans know about him. Tannehill, we used to call him. And they've had kind of issues, and they finally settled in with Levis, who looks really good, by the way. Although the guy's got to cut it. I don't know what's up with him. He's on a lot of rip fuel, or he does a lot of circuit training, because that guy's arms were cut. I don't know what that guy's on, but God bless him. He was really hyped up. But I like him. He looks good. So the Dolphins do not look good right now. Okay, and of course we can look at it in one game, because the micro view would say, well, they lost. And the macro view is this, and they're 9-4. They still lead the division. They could still have a chance of getting the number one seed, which they're not getting the number one seed. Okay, Let's just tell that right now. They're not getting the number 1 seed. Baltimore's taking that. But they have an opportunity. So you can look at this two ways. They could look at this as a opportunity to learn and say, hey, we got to play better. Because we got one more cupcake game, and I call that cupcake in quotes because the Jets, and it's a divisional game, and divisional games are never cupcake games, okay, especially against the Jets. Again, I'm a Dolphins fan for a long time. I've seen a lot of Jets games where they had no business beating us, and they did, and vice versa, okay? We've had bad teams, they've had bad teams, and each side has won in each other's house. And guess what? We beat them up there. And you don't think the Jets want to ruin us coming down here, considering what we did to them up there? So, yes, we call it a cupcake game, or again, they should win. Yes, they're going to be favored. But if they're going to play like this, and if Zach Wilson, his ball's finally dropped, he's finally figuring out how to play quarterback a little bit, which looks like he played good last week, we got a game. Okay, so if we lose that game, now we got Dallas, right? Christmas, gonna get a lump of coal against the Cowboys. Sorry to break your bubble, guys. And then we play Baltimore up there, New Year's Eve. It's not gonna be a happy New Year's Eve. Trust me, Baltimore is gonna. They have our number. Other than recently, okay, I can go back 20 years. Every time we played Baltimore under Harbaugh, they kicked our ass. They were a physical team. Now we've had a couple games, but remember we beat them last year, right? What happened? We were down. I don't know how many points, and then Tua had to come back, and the defense Baltimore played back and played prevent. So I don't think Baltimore is going to be playing for the number 1 seed up there. Guys, don't look good. And then we got to play Buffalo last game of the year for all the marbles. And I'm thinking Buffalo wins out. They have to play some teams now too. But that game's going to be for division. And you don't think Buffalo's going to want to take that considering what they went through? So we have a lot of things going against us right now. Okay? And I'm a Dolphin fan. You can call me a fair weather fan, or I'm not like a blind ass fan, as like Big O would say. I'm not. I see it. And I've seen this enough this year. I've watched enough football to know this team does not play well against physical teams that punch us in the mouth. Because we're a finesse team. We're like a quasi finesse because, yes, we run the ball, but our running scheme is to the outside. Okay, all of our effective runs are toss plays. Okay, where you put a tight end or a fullback in motion and they're sweeping out, or a lineman, and they put blocks out, and then your receivers block. Okay, they're a lot like what San Francisco does, but here's the difference: San Francisco got Christian McCaffrey, who can run inside and can run outside. Okay, and San Francisco's physical. Okay, now if we have all our linemen back, which, well, we're gonna lose Connor Williams, but if Armstead's back and we have everyone pretty much close to full strength, can we be that kind of team? I think we can get close. But I just don't think overall we're that physical team. We don't have a strong, tall receiver that can go up and get the ball. We don't have a tight end that can do the same thing. Okay, we got Tyreek Hill, who is the MVP. He's the best receiver in the league, but he's not going to run a fade route in the end zone. Now we've done it in a jump ball. I mean, we've done some plays where Tyreek gets the ball in the end zone on certain throws, beautiful throws by by Tua, but they don't have that guy. They need a tight end. They need a big receiver that can actually take over the field. And they picked up guys, Robbie Chosen. They got Claypool. They have some guys on the roster, but they're not even playing, which tells me A, they can't run the routes, or B, it's just a numbers game and they're not getting in there. So this offense, how are they going to win? Now, this is where we're going to say, I'll finish with this last part. How are we going to win going forward? Okay, well, number 1, Tua has got to play big. If he's going to be that top 5 quarterback in the league, he's got to play big. He's got to be decisive with his throws. Okay, and last night, he was running around at the end. His reads, now maybe the guys were covered, and you don't want him to throw the pick. Great. But then we go to play calling. They got to call the right plays. They got to get the plays that Tua can be successful. And I will die on this hill. and in football in general, not in the Dolphins. You got to be able to run the ball when you're inside the 5-yard line. Okay? The Eagles, God bless them, they got their play. They got the tush push. Okay? They get within 3, 2, they can run it in. We don't have that, obviously. Our quarterback's smallish. But hell, man, we got to be able to run the ball. 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1, 2, near the end zone. Okay? When you have to pass inside the 5, you realize the defense doesn't have much to cut. They don't have a lot of room. So that means the windows are a lot tighter to get the ball. Okay? And since we don't have a tight end or a big receiver that can take up space and scheme up like that, so the Dolphins are forced to doing like quick gadgety tosses, little, shuttle pass, shit that, yeah, they work every now and then, but over time, defense is key on that. So you're forced to run the ball, but they don't do it. They don't do it, and that's the problem. And that's why, last night we had field goals instead of touchdowns when we got near the goal line, and then of course we had the fumble in the first series because of the center being out. So we got to clean it up. We got to run the ball more. Close situations, okay? And Tua's got to come up. And also another thing, the defense. Live by the zone, die by the zone, and they died by the zone last night. Tennessee's, we played the zone, and Tennessee said, all right, we'll run Hopkins across the field and beat you that way, and they did, and we had no answer. And it's funny because we have probably the 2 best corners in the league, and we get torched. Now Holland's out, so that hurts. We have a linebacker out, that hurts a little bit, but still, you have the best 2 corners in the league, and you guys give up, give up to a Hall of Famer receiver, yes, but he's on the decline, and they lost. So, and the defense, like I said, the three reasons I would tell you the Dolphins lost, why they lost. 1, the defense collapsed late. 2, Hill, no Tyreek Hill, that hurt. And 3, play calling. We couldn't call a play to save our life, especially when Tyreek was out. The offense looked like crap. So in the end, Dolphins have a tough road ahead, and don't think because of the Jets coming up, we got one more win, and then no, the Jets are going to be a tough out. So Dolphin fans, another December. Those older fans, remember our Decembers. We do so well, and then we get to November, December, the weather changes, and then the losses start coming. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be the same deal. And then all bets are off when we get to the playoffs. All right, so this is Fam 305 Sports Quickie. Got a little quickie and got it in there. Thanks for listening. Those that don't listen to sports, you're expecting to hear something else. Sorry, we got plenty of other materials I'll be putting out, but I just want to record this and get this out to my fans or to our fans. Thanks for listening to Fam 305. You know where to find us. The website, thefam305.com. I'm also on Twitter, Google 305, Instagram, thefam305. Also, Teespring. Make sure you want to help us out. Teespring, I sell a lot of shirts. We have our podcast merch. We also have sports-related T-shirts. You check it out, Teespring, and my name is Guru305. So if you just put Guru305 as a user or search for my shirts, you'll find it. Okay. Also, a lot of my information is on the podcast. You can find the websites where to visit that website. All right. Thanks for listening to the Fam 305 podcast. Till next time, peace.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the Fam 305.